So let us start with the new unit, condition records. The name of the unit is itself condition records. That means we have to study in detail about the condition records in the whole unit. In this unit, our first lesson is working with pricing reports. We have to learn about what are pricing reports and how are they helpful for us. So for defining the pricing reports in simple terms, it is a list of conditions only. See here, a list of conditions that can be generated for analysis and overview of existing condition records. That means some condition records are already existing in the SAP system and we have to generate a list of conditions. For what purpose? For analysis and overview of those pre-existing condition records. There are already condition records. We have to generate a list of conditions that will analyze those condition records in the SAP system. Okay. Now, here are the three main motives why to create the pricing reports. First main motive that we have studied is we have to analyze the existing condition records. Okay. Now, when we are studying these three another motives of pricing reports, these three motives of pricing reports are based on these condition records only. See, the first one is to know what customer specific pricing agreements have been made for a certain period. For example, there is one customer number C1 and there is one customer number C2. To the customer number C1, there is an agreement that I will deliver you pencils at a rate of rupees 3 per pencil, and to the customer number C2, I have an agreement that I will deliver you the pencils at a rate of rupees 5 per pencil. So what I am doing, I am getting customer specific pricing agreements for C1 3 rupees and C2 5 rupees. These are customer specific pricing that have been made for a certain period. I will say that this price is valid for you for up to 1 month. Let us say 1st April to 30th April. And here for customer number C2, I will say this price is valid for you for 15 days, that is 1st April to 15th April. So what we are including? We are including customer specific price with a time period. First one, the first point says to know what customer specific pricing agreements have been made for a certain period. So this all information also we can gather from pricing reports. Second importance of pricing reports, to know which condition groups are stored in the system. Now what were condition groups? Remember the first class of SAP SD in which I told you that there are total 5 types of condition groups. The first one is price list, second one was document and surcharges, third one was Incoterms, fourth one was freight, and fifth one was taxes. There was a flow chart showing 5 condition groups in all. So we have to determine how the price lists are stored in the SAP system. We have to determine the discounts and surcharges. We have to determine the Incoterms. We have to determine the freight and the taxes. For all this also we will need pricing reports. So if you analyze it in a broader way, when you will get the price list, when you will get the discount and surcharges, Incoterms, freight and taxes, those will be visible in the condition record only. This customer specific agreements will be visible in condition records only. That means these three major aspects of pricing reports are being analyzed on condition records only. Third one is to know which price lists were created in the scale prices. We have already discussed about the price list in the second point. Here it is saying to know which price lists were created with scale prices. What were scale prices? Remember possible scale values, PSVs. We had defined 5 types of PSVs for this much quantity, for this much volume. That were the possible scale values, and with those possible scale values, what price lists exist. Okay. So whatever is written in this, I am summarizing it again. What are pricing reports? They are a list of conditions. For what purpose? For analyzing the condition records and to get their overview. Now how to analyze these condition records? Based on these three criteria, these three factors: to know what customer specific pricing agreements have been made in a time period. Second is to know about the condition records that are stored in the system. There are 5 types of condition records, which also you will get from condition records only. And to know which price lists were created with scale prices. Scale prices, it simply means from, let us say, if a customer buys 100 pieces of some particular product, then how will you scale the prices? I will scale like, if a customer buys 100 pieces, then I will apply the rate of $50 per piece, and if the customer buys 200 pieces, then I will apply the rate of $49 per piece. That means 100 to 199, the rate would be $50. That means this is the scale that we are using. So to know which price lists were created with scale prices, to analyze these types of price that we have created using scale, we can use pricing reports for that purpose also. I hope it is clear to you. Now let us see some small simulation in the PowerPoint so that you get more clearer concept of the pricing report. And first of all, let us see what is the structure of pricing report, which is most important. So this is the structure of pricing reports. See, in this table, in the topmost row, I have written customer specific prices. That means when we were studying about the 3 major aspects of pricing reports, that how they work, how they analyze the condition records, the first one was this point only, customer specific prices, what customer specific agreements that we have made for a specific time period. That means considering that first point in my mind, I have developed this pricing report structure for that first point. Then in the second, I have defined the sales organization, that is 1000, and distribution channel, that is 01. This part, up till this part, sales organization and distribution channel, it is called the page header. Keep this in mind. When we are using the pricing reports, when we are using the structure of pricing reports, then sales organization and distribution channel defines the page header. It is the first level filter that we are applying. That means for sales organization number 1000 and distribution channel number 01 in that sales organization, we want to see the pricing report for customer specific prices. So this is the first level of filter to see the pricing reports. Then comes the customer. I have defined that the customer number is A403 and the customer is of North Germany, let's say. So this second row is called the group header, and the group header is the second level of filter. The first level of filter was sales organization, and in that sales organization distribution channel. That means we have gone to one company number 1000 and to the distribution channel number 01 of that sales organization. So now we are restricted to that particular distribution channel only. Now when we are restricted to that particular distribution channel, we are again restricting ourselves to one particular customer or a customer group. A403 can be one customer also and a group of customer also. Like I can say that A403 number customer group is corresponding to wholesalers and A404 customer group is corresponding to retailers. So for wholesalers, I am defining these customer specific prices. So this is second level of filter. In that distribution channel, we have again restricted our search to customer group A403. Then here comes the condition type. Here comes the material, amount, unit, per. UOM means unit of material, and valid to. Why valid to? Because we are defining customer specific prices for a particular time period, keeping the first point, the first major aspect of pricing report in our mind. Then in the customer group A403, my first customer, let us say it is customer number A. For that, condition type is PR00, material is M1, amount is 10, unit is euro. Unit means currency, we can say. Per means we are talking about one piece. unit of material is piece, and valid to 1st July 2020. So this row, what is trying to say? It is trying to say that for price condition type PR00 of material M1, the price would be 10 euro per one piece. One piece would be charged at a rate of 10 euro till 1st July 2020. And this second row says that condition type is K005 and material number 2 will be charged for euro 20 per kg till 1st July 2020. Then again condition type is PR00. It is trying to say that for material number M3 the amount would be 15 euros per piece till 1st July 2020. So this is how we are reading the pricing reports. And for customer number B, the condition type is PR00, and for material number 1, this particular customer would be charged 9 euro per piece till 1st July 2020. Here the material number 1 for customer number A was 10 euro per piece till 1st July, and here the material number M1 for customer B is 9 euro per piece till 1st July. So what we are trying to analyze is, keeping that first major aspect of pricing reports in our mind, we are analyzing the customer specific pricing agreements for a particular time period. I hope you got it now, that what are pricing reports. This is the pricing report for customer number A, this material and this material at this much price using this much unit of material till this date, and for customer B, this material at this price based in number of pieces till a particular date. Then this whole is called the item level in the pricing reports, that here we are defining the items, or you can say materials, for the particular customers, and we are defining their rates, we are defining their units, we are defining their unit of material, and we are defining the validity date. So our pricing reports work in 3 parts, where each part is the filter, and when we move on to the lowest filter, we are more restricting ourselves. See, here we restricted to distribution channel number 01 only. Here we again restricted ourselves to only one type of customer called A403 number, and in the item level we are restricting ourselves to the particular customer in that customer group, customer number A, and here we have restricted ourselves to customer number B. So this is the hierarchy that we have to follow while developing the pricing reports. I hope it is clear to you that what are pricing reports, what is their structure, and see this is called the analysis of condition record only. The condition records give us the final price of the product. I hope you agree on this. After analyzing the condition records, we get the final price of the product. So here is the final price of this product material M1 for this customer, and here is the final price of that material M1 for this customer. So we are on the final price. That means we are analyzing our condition records based for a particular customer for a particular time period. So this is how pricing reports work on condition records, for analysis of condition records and getting their overview. I hope the definition of pricing reports is clear to you, the structure of pricing reports is clear to you, and how the pricing reports are helpful to us, this is also clear to you using this slide. Now we have to see how to select the views in which the condition records have to be analyzed. For this, let me explain the term views first. What is a view? For example, you have a database. In that database you have many tables. Obviously in a database there are tables only, we store tables in a database, and suppose there is one table called student. Then you have to find out number of views of that table student. What are views? You have already studied in DBMS, a particular window of a table that you want to see. For example, a table contains 8 columns, but you only want to see 3 columns of that table. Then you can create your own personalized view of that table for that 3 columns only. The small subset of a table is called a view. So here also we are going to work on condition tables, from which we will create small views and we will analyze our condition records. Okay, I hope the concept is clear to you that what we are going to do now. So first we are restricting ourselves to the most general term, that is the condition tables. Suppose in our SAP system the first condition table that is existing is material, the second condition table that is existing is customer material. That means there are two columns in that table, one is customer and one is material. Or we can say that the name of the table is condition customer and material, there can be more columns also. Then the name of the table is division customer. Apart from these two there can be more columns also. I have not written all the columns. Then there is a table Incoterms. For that Incoterms also there may be other columns also, like currency, foreign currency, and etc etc. Then the last table in the SAP system that we have defined is customer material group. There can be other columns also in all these tables. Only the names of the tables I am specifying here. Okay, now what I am going to do, I am going to select a particular domain. See, I have from the whole table, this material was the whole table, there can be many columns. This customer material was the whole table, there can be other columns also. Similarly, in every table there are many columns, and I am restricting myself to a specific field in that table, that means to a specific column in that table. See, here I have defined that one field can be currency, that must be existing in this Incoterms table, and one field can be Incoterms, that may be existing in the Incoterms table itself. Then one field can be customer, that can exist in customer material table or division customer table or customer material group table. And one field is material, one column is material, that must be existing in this material table or this customer material table or this customer material group table. And one table is sales organization, that must be existing in this material, because for a material you need sales organization, for customer material also you need sales organization, division customer also you need sales organization, Incoterms also need sales organization, customer material group also need sales organization. Every table will need sales organization, because is the most basic property that you have to follow in a SAP system. Whenever you create a document, sales organization has to be written always. So here we had whole tables, and from those whole tables we have selected some columns. That columns are called fields. Suppose when we talk about currency column, Incoterms column, customer column, material column or sales organization column, then what we are doing is we are selecting one of the fields out of these available fields and applying a filter on the condition tables. Suppose I have selected this customer field and I will apply the filter. Then what will happen? I will get three tables out of these five tables. The first table I will get customer material, here I have got. The second table I will get division customer, here I have got. And the third table I will get customer material group, here I have got. So what I am doing, I am analyzing all the condition table. From that I am selecting one particular field. Using that field I am applying the filter on all the condition tables. Then I have reduced the number of tables that I have to search. From 5 tables I have come to 3 tables now. That means some or the other way I am going to generate the pricing reports for the customer specific basis only. Like we have already seen in the previous slide, I generated the pricing report structure for customer specific prices. So this is how I reached customer. And if I selected material, then the tables would be customer material, material and customer material group. Then the pricing report would be based on material also. Okay, then the pricing report would be structured based on the material, like material A, material B, unlike that we saw customer A and customer B. I hope it is getting clear to you. Then basis on this output of the tables that I have got, what I will do, I will generate the pricing report, and the first level filter I have seen that in the pricing report is the sales organization, and on that distribution channel I will select, and then I will select the group header, that obviously I am going to generate the pricing report for customer, and then all the fields that can be there existing in a pricing report, like condition type, material, material group, unit of material, valid to. So this is how a pricing report is generated using the condition tables. From these condition tables, I selected one field, and for that field I applied the filter on all the condition tables, and for that condition tables, keeping it that mind, I generated the pricing report. Suppose here if I selected material, then the output here would be material in the first column, in the first row, and in the second row the output would be customer material, and in the third row the output would be customer material group. And based on this pricing report, the group header would have here material instead of customer. That means then I would have defined the pricing report for a particular material group rather than a particular customer group. I hope it is getting clear to you. Let me show you again. This was the structure of pricing reports. If I had to select material, then here in the group header, instead of this customer group number, there would come material group number, and here for particular material A and material B we can generate the prices, and here we can write the customer numbers, like for PR00 C1, customer number C1 would be charged at €10 per piece for that material number A, and for that material number B, this customer C2 would be charged at €9 per piece till 1st July 2020. I hope you are getting clear about the structure of pricing reports, how these pricing reports are being extracted from the condition tables, and what these pricing reports are doing. They are only analyzing the condition records, giving you the overview of condition records, and fulfilling the three major aspects that we discussed. I hope this class was interesting and you were able to get up something from these slides.